Jake Schick joins us now via phone. Jake, thank you so much for your service and for everything that you do to help everybody else who's served as well. Appreciate you joining us today.
Thank you, Dana, and you're worth it. I appreciate the sentiment and very grateful for the time.
Of course. I want to get to the Carry the Load event because this is a great event that you're doing, and people can get teams, and we'll tell you all about that for everybody listening for this Memorial Day weekend. But I wanted to talk, too, about One Tribe Foundation because this, I think, is so incredibly important. I don't think a lot of people realize that the suicide rate of veterans when people are acclimating back into civilian life, it's tough. And I don't know why it is that it's only just now in recent years that we're becoming more aware of it. If it was just something that, you weren't supposed to talk about, or I don't know what, but it was 22 a day. Talk to me a little bit about this and what your foundation does in terms of meeting these vets where they are and helping them.
Sure. Yeah. We started at 22 kill back in 2013 with the 22 push-up challenge. And we've since evolved into One Tribe Foundation, still having 22 kill be the education awareness piece of what we do on a day-to-day basis. So we started with the awareness campaign, which evolved into being a full-blown mental and emotional wellness organization with multiple programs, both traditional and non-traditional therapies, taking an approach of, just like you said, we have to meet these warriors where they are in order to get them to heal, because healing people help people. And so since we've gotten to this point, we've since outgrown the moniker of 22 kill because we serve not only military and veterans, but firefighters, paramedics, EMTs, law enforcement officers, frontline healthcare workers, and their families.
Yeah.
And so we're able to really help these people come out of their rabbit hole and understand that the only thing that's worse than suffering is suffering alone.
Yeah. And a lot of times, correct me if I'm wrong on this, a lot of times families call you because there's nobody else they can call.
Absolutely. People feel very, very desperate. And, in a lot of cases, we are a last stop. And the whole idea behind One Tribe Foundation is the human tribe. We're all in this together. We all bleed red. We can still disagree with people and still love them. And we've been dictated to that's not the case, and that is absolutely the case. The thing is that we all understand as human beings, one thing puts us all in the same arena and on an even playing ground, and that is trauma and tragedy and pain and suffering, regardless of race, color, creed, religion, socioeconomic status, where you were raised, how, why, you're going to get hit in the face by that. And that's the one thing we can all lean in and agree on, is that we all are going to suffer and feel pain at some point.
And I really think we're talking with Jake Schick of One Tribe Foundation, as well as carrytheload.org, and we're going to talk about this event that they're gearing up for Memorial Day weekend, in which you all can participate as well. So when I think about stuff that combat veterans, or first responders, some of the stuff that these people go through, I mean, ultimately, it seems like sometimes the best people who can help them are people who've been there. It's like that; those are the only people, especially if you have some cases where it's really hard to get through to some people who are just really suffering, from the stuff that they've endured. It's really kind of hard to get through to those people. And that's, as you were saying, people who are helped go and help people. I love the idea about that. Tell me a little bit about that, and then we're going to get into Carry the Load. Because really, veterans helping veterans, sometimes I think those are the only people who can.
And in large part, that's very true. And you stated earlier, you're not sure why we haven't addressed this, and we've only started to talk about this epidemic for years. Well, and I know why. It's because we're conditioned as a society not to talk about things that we don't have a full comprehension of, because that makes us uncomfortable. Therefore, we're going to sweep it under the rug and hope it goes away. Well, it's not going away. And we're here to keep talking about it and putting it in people's faces and saying, listen, it's okay to not be okay. And in large part, when you have an alpha male or female walk in these doors and they say, they look at it as a sign of weakness because that's what they've been conditioned to believe. And, a guy like me can look at him and go, hey, listen, I just need you to know, don't let my fake leg fool you. I am a recovering alcoholic, addict, womanizing, blah, 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 every form of self-medication you could think of times 3 in grander fashions. I understand. I get it. That's why I do what I do. That's why we do what we do. This is no longer a mission for us. This is a movement, and it's global, and in large part because of a global pandemic. And that's why we all have to lean in and love hard in order to live well, and we can't do the last one without fully doing the first two.
Yeah, and you made a really good point talking with Jake Schick about the pandemic as well. I didn't realize how many there were services for veterans that were, I mean, mental health services that where people weren't even able to get in and get the help that they needed for, however long. I mean, it's and factoring that into it is pretty unbelievable. We're talking with Jake Schick. You can find him at One Tribe Foundation as well as carrytheload.org. You might remember he's been in a couple. You've seen him on television, and he's been in some Clint Eastwood films, American Sniper. You were in The Mule as well. You were in The Star Is Born too, weren't you?
I was.
You were. I don't mean to totally just take the car off onto a side road, but I was I remember, yes, you were in A Star Is Born as well. I wanted to ask you about this event. That's what we're going to talk about, carrytheload.org. It's a great event that's coming up this weekend, and people can, y'all can get teams together. It's a great organization, and tell us about this event, because it's really kind of bringing a restoration of the true meaning of Memorial Day, not really what it's been popularized as in recent decades.
Absolutely. This will be the 11th year of the Carry the Load evolution, and the whole idea was started by two Navy SEALs. They're good friends of mine who I refer to as Flipper 1 and Flipper 2, but real good men and good servant leaders. And the whole idea is to restore the true meaning of Memorial Day. Like you said, it's about a hell of a lot more than mattress cells and barbecue.
Yep.
And this day, and I'll come back to that, this day is to honor those men and women that believed we were worthy of fighting, bleeding, and dying for. We can at least stop and honor and remember them on the one day they're designated. And the fact that they get a day is disgusting to me, and that's why we call it Memorial May. They at least deserve a month, if not the entire year, because for God's sake, it's an everyday thing. I've buried 33 of my friends who've gone overseas and done what they promised this country they would do, then they came home and died by their own hand. I know 8 that were killed in combat. This is something that is very near and dear to my heart, and me, almost being a statistic myself and on multiple occasions, the least we can do is show up, bring our families, and show our children what freedom is all about, that it is not given, that free in of itself is a made-up marketing word. Somebody somewhere paid for it somehow. Yeah. Nothing's free. And people should get involved and show up and pay forward on this day. Put in your sweat equity. Put in your sweat equity to show these men and women that they're not lost in vain, because the last time someone truly dies is the last time their story's told.
Oh, that's
and it's up to us as the gatekeepers. Exactly. And it's up to us as the gatekeepers of these legacies to live well. That's the only way to truly honor them. There's no ribbon, there's no plaque or piece of paper or designation. We have to wake up and live well every single day.
I love this. It's a Memorial May event. We're talking with Jake Schick, and you can find out more information about this event at carrytheload.org, because it's all about remembering. I mean, and that's what Memorial Day is. I mean, you're looking at people who died, while serving. And it's always, at the very end of May, but I really like the Memorial May idea. So you can sign up. There's the march, there's rallies, there's a relay, and you can get together a team, and it raises money for not just awareness and advocacy. But I love how open, by the way, Jake, you are with everything as well, because I think it encourages other people to sort of, even if they aren't comfortable talking about it, at least it encourages them in their ease with which they identify if there is an issue. And that's so incredibly important. But people can go to carrytheload.org, and you can register and get the fam involved. I mean, I think it's that's like a really great, come on, it's a great thing to do on Memorial May weekend, which now I'm going to start saying now. But I so appreciate you doing this. And Jake, I have to tell you, it kind of, when you talk about veterans who are serving and even first responders and some of the stuff that they see that average Americans don't, because I really do believe that people go into combat and get on the front line of this stuff. I think y'all are cut from a different cloth, but it reminds me of, like Frodo in Lord of the Rings, because, he carries this ring. He does it voluntarily, and he carries the ring to protect the Shire. And people in the Shire don't even know what's happening. And you watch this whole series, all the Lord of the Rings films, and you're like, you get aggravated towards the end of the film. You get so aggravated that people in the Shire are living their lives and they don't even realize what, these heroes that you've been watching for this entire series, everything that they've endured, things that have changed who they are. And you get aggravated at the other hobbits in the Shire because they don't see what Frodo and his friends have undergone and what they've had to go through. But then you realize that they did it so that life could continue. And when people aren't even aware sometimes, it's I think maybe in some ways it's a testament to how good of a job, that has been done to protect them. And you guys, Jake, you and so many other people remind me of that. I had to tell you.
Well, listen, I'm humbled and I'm honored and I'm privileged. And for me, the thing is, people always ask me, Jake, how can we help? How can I help? What can we do? Time, talent, and treasure. If you're not willing to sacrifice some of one of those three things, you're talking. Mm-hmm. And there's enough talkers.
Exactly.
Sacrifice and service is synonymous. Those are kissing cousins. You can't do one without the other. And this Carry the Load evolution is one way to show up and say, hey, we're here to honor them because we believe in what we've got. And you can complain about this country all you want. Anyone can, but there's a reason you can in the safety of your own home and sleep at peace at night, because there's men and women standing at the ready to do violence on our behalf because they believe we're worth it. Amen. But I'm going to encourage your audience, if you're going to go to carrytheload.org and click on register, if you want to be a part of a winning team, the one that's going to win, you got to join One Tribe Foundation's Team 22 Kill. And you'll be a part of the winning team because we don't show up to anything to come in second.
That's point. What I would do. I'd do that. Everybody's going to go and join that one. That's what they'll do. Oh, Jake Schick, I so appreciate everything that you do. One Tribe Foundation, it's numeral 1 when you go online to look. One Tribe Foundation, carrytheload.org as well. Jake Schick, appreciate your service to our country and your service even after you've retired. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Dana.
Of course.